As a freelancer, it can be hard to stay on top of everything that needs to be done each week. You have to balance multiple projects, find new clients, send proposals, create contracts, track your time, manage your tasks, schedule meetings, send invoices. Yeah, it's a lot, right?
He has not stopped working for a second.
But with a little bit of task management, you can stay on top of all of your tasks, keep your clients happy, and make more money. And in this video, I'll show you how to create an effective task management system to help you balance multiple projects. Hi, I'm Brant, and this is Indy, a productivity platform to help you manage your freelance business from start to finish. You know those guys that want to charge you thousands of dollars to turn you into a freelance expert? Well, we're doing it for free because we know just how hard it can be out there, and we want to make freelancing simple. So if that sounds like the stuff you want to know more about, click that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these tips. Now, I'm sure we all got into freelancing to feel a sense of independence and freedom. But maybe you started working on a couple of projects and you quickly found out that there's now a lot more things you have to do that you didn't have to do when working as an employee. It can be a lot to keep track of, especially when you're first starting out. But once you create a system that helps you lasso these assignments in, you'll start to feel more of that freedom that you originally signed up for when you decided to become a freelancer. So here are 7 steps to keeping track of your freelance projects. Step 1, pick a method for how you'll organize each task. Step 2, get granular by breaking projects down into smaller tasks. Step 3, categorize each task by similarity and priority. Step 4, give yourself due dates and milestones. Step 5, keep track of your time. Step 6, don't take on more work than you can handle. And step 7, be flexible to changes in the schedule. So let's dive in and see how you can create this system for yourself. So this is what a simple task list looks like. Just a few different tasks here that I've added, like schedule a meeting, send an invoice, write a landing page, send an email. There's not really any particular order to these tasks. And that's one way to make a task list. You can just have kind of a random order of tasks that you need to do for the day. But it's also not the easiest way to get work done. In fact, sometimes it can get overwhelming just to see a list of tasks and not have any sort of idea how you're going to tackle these projects. So that's what we're going to do today, is come up with a strong system so that each day you know exactly what you need to do and how to get it all done. So the first step in keeping track of your freelance projects is to define your system or pick a method. 2 of the most popular ways to keep track of your projects is to use either Kanban boards or to-do lists. To-do lists are very popular, and most likely you've worked with one at some point before. You just have one long list of tasks, and one by one you can just start checking them off your list. Now, to-do lists are a great way to keep yourself organized throughout the day, but my favorite method is the Kanban method. So up here we have the Kanban board, and this is what a Kanban board looks like. This is especially helpful if you're working on several projects at once and need to get more detailed than just a simple to-do list. So right now I have 3 different columns. I have the to-do list, the in-progress list, and then everything that's done. I like to keep these columns simple, but you could always click on them and title them in a different way that makes sense to you. And as you're working on different projects, you just click on it, drag it. If I need to schedule a meeting, I would move it to in progress. And then after I'm done, I would move it to done. And just like a to-do list, it's just really satisfying to watch these tasks one by one get checked off the list. And what I like about a Kanban board versus a to-do list is that it's just a lot easier to see what's going on at any given moment. Like if I had multiple projects I was working on, then I could see that one of the tasks I haven't even done yet, 2 of them I'm working on right now, and 1 of them is finished. So for me, I like that extra detail of being able to see what exactly I'm working on right now and what still needs to be done, especially when working on multiple projects that are in different levels of production. So once you have your list of tasks together, it's time to get more granular on what needs to be done. So let's go back to the list view, and here we have our list of tasks. And as you can see, especially for write a landing page, it's a pretty high overview of what actually needs to be done. It's just the project. What we want to do is break down these big projects into much smaller, much more manageable tasks. And this same method works for whatever you're doing, whether you're creating a website or you're making a design for a client. Whatever you're doing, think about everything that needs to be done in order to finish the project. So for instance, if we stick with the landing page, for one, you would need to brainstorm ideas. You would also need to create a framework. Then you would need to write the first draft. And finally, you would need to polish the writing. And now, instead of just having a single landing page, you have several steps to check off your list in order to get to the finished product. And because of that, you're going to feel a lot more motivated to get your work done. And you can get even more detailed than this. So we'll switch back to the board view. And now we're going to take a look at this same list and start organizing tasks by similarity. Now, there's 3 different ways you can organize these tasks. The first method is task batching, which is what we just talked about. It's when you group similar tasks together and dedicate your focus to just those tasks until they're finished. So that's where it's helpful to add extra columns. You can create a new column and make it all about admin work, or make the column whatever you want it to be about. And then everything related to admin work, like send an email, send an invoice, schedule a meeting, all of that would be in your admin section. And then you just work through this column until everything's finished. Another method is called day theming. This is a more extreme version of task batching, where you dedicate certain days of the week to certain tasks. This is great if you really want to organize each day to make the work more predictable every week. Just think of it as when people go to exercise at the gym and they have leg days and arm days. That's kind of what day theming is. You just have certain days dedicated to certain tasks. Like on Mondays, you do admin work. On Tuesdays, you do whatever else you need to do. And then the final method is called time boxing. To do this, you start by estimating how long it will take you to complete each task, and then you dedicate that fixed amount of time towards that task. And then once the time limit is up, you stop working on the project and you assess whether you reached your goals or not, and if you finish the task in time. This can help you optimize how quickly you get projects done. And it's also a great way of seeing whether you have enough time in your week to be able to take on more clients, or if you've hit your maximum workload. You might already know which method would be best for you, but if you don't, you can always try each method for yourself to see which helps you get work done faster. Next, you want to prioritize what's urgent versus non-urgent. This keeps you moving forward instead of wasting time trying to determine which items on your list to do first. So in your to-do list, you can have an order of which things need to be done first. For this is basically the order it needs to be done. You need to brainstorm ideas, create a framework, write a first draft, and polish the writing. But this is all related to one project. Let's say you really need to send this email to a client. Then you would want to put that email to the top of the list because it's the most urgent item in your list. This keeps you moving forward instead of wasting time trying to determine which items on your list to do first. So focus on completing the most urgent and most important tasks as soon as possible, and save your least important and least urgent tasks to do for last. You most likely have a due date for the entire project, but sometimes that isn't helpful enough, especially if there are a lot of steps you need to take to achieve that deadline. So give yourself milestones and deadlines throughout the project so that you can wake up each day, see your tasks for the day, and then get started. What this does is it motivates you to get the work done and helps you stay on track for each milestone. You can also use a digital calendar, which is another great way to monitor when your tasks are due. So as you can see down here, now it says send an email to Bob Clark. And then after that, I highly recommend you keep track of your time, even if you aren't charging clients by the hour. It's always good to know how long it takes you to complete a project because it gives you a better idea of how to charge your future projects. And also, keeping track of the time helps you optimize how quickly you can get your projects done. Digital time trackers are great for tracking your projects because all you have to do is push a button to start and stop the clock, and it does the counting for you, so you don't have to waste any time monitoring it yourself. This is especially great for the time boxing method so that you can easily see how long you have left to complete the project. And with that information, you're going to be able to, number one, price your services more accurately in the future, and number two, you'll be able to optimize how fast you can get these projects done. And the faster you get work done, the more projects you can do. A couple of final tips that I have for managing stress and making the most out of your new system is that you don't take on more projects than you can handle. It can be tempting to want to take on more and more clients to make more and more money, but this also makes it harder to keep your clients happy, and it really quickly can lead to burnout. The second tip I have is that you be flexible with your task list. These task lists are here to guide you throughout each project, but some days things just aren't going to go the way we planned it. So whenever a new task arrives or something changes to your schedule, you can fall back on the same system we walked through earlier. Decide how urgent that new task is, and if it's really urgent, you can move it to the top of your list and push the lowest priority item to the following day. So use these task lists as a way to help you manage your projects more efficiently, but be open to the possibility of your schedule changing. Coming up with a strong system is going to take a bit of trial and error to see what works for you. So ask yourself, do I want to organize tasks by how similar they are? Or maybe block out entire days to focus on just the admin work? And once you nail down your system and stick to it, you can take a lot of the stress out of freelancing by creating a routine that works for you. For even more tips, you can check out our articles on this topic in the description box below. You can also find a link to Indy's free tasks and calendar tools that'll help you stay on top of your projects so that you can meet deadlines. These are the tools that I used when making this video. And if you're just starting out in your freelancing journey or you're looking for more advice, hit that subscribe button. Indy is a company of freelancers just like you, and we want to give you the tips that we learned along the way to help you grow your business. So let us know in the comments what you want to know more about, and I'll see you next time.